Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Kennel NRL podcast. It's been a big week in rugby league and we're building towards the State of Origin Game 1 on May 31st. And this is the season of rugby league where things start to get exciting. But before we get into that, I'd love to welcome my evergreen co-host, Dibbo. Welcome back, Dibbo.
Always good to have me back.
Love having you, bro. Love having you. And someone who seems to become a mainstay on the podcast, Brandon. Welcome, Brandon. Welcome back, bro.
Always good to be back.
Lovely to have you. Lovely to have you. So, I guess, first port of call is I want to start by talking about the Bulldogs against the Warriors. I thought there was going to be a change. I thought we were going to see some improvements in the team. But, man, they dished up more of the same. I mean, it's interesting. Even though we were thoroughly outplayed for 80 minutes, I did think, we had patches there where we were okay, but we just never looked like we were going to win the game. But we still aren't getting blown off the park, which I think is still a positive. I mean, we're losing, sure. We're not playing to our potential, sure. A lot of the players in the team, I think, are just sort of going through the motions at the moment, but I'm really happy that we're not getting blown off the park. Like against the Raiders, we lost by 4. Against the Warriors, they were 18 up at halftime. We only lost by 12. So I think it's, positives. Thoughts, Dibbo?
Well, yeah, look, it looked like they were in their shell for that first half. I know the Warriors were winning 18-0, but Canterbury were offering nothing. I thought Canterbury were a lot better than that. Everything was coming off for the Warriors. Look, it wasn't... At one stage, Canterbury... there was a 20-minute period where Canterbury actually just dominated the whole game.
Well, we couldn't put the final touches on.
And they were 24-0 at the beginning?
No, 18-0 at halftime.
18-0 at halftime. Okay.
And then it got back to 18-6. Avarilla was having another good attacking period. There was that 20-minute period and they scored but it got disallowed. And I thought, geez. And Canterbury looked very likely to score that second try. And we thought, if they're in here... Warriors are in big trouble, but they couldn't maintain it in the end. And
I think it's just the pairing. They're just not getting anywhere with the pairing.
Just ran away with it. I don't understand that selection of Reynolds starting.
Reynolds is still starting?
No, so they've changed it up for this week. So Oluwapu's starting, which is, we mentioned last week that we think Oluwapu should be starting as opposed to Josh Reynolds. But Josh Reynolds is on the bench, which I think is a mistake. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Because, man, I want to, if you look at what is going wrong with the Bulldogs, we get off to a very, very... the first 5 minutes, we seem to be doing okay, and then we just poopy ourselves, and we just let the team, the opposition, just run over us. Our forwards just had nothing.
I know you're singling out the forwards. Can I ask now, from your best starting lineup, who's missing? I know Kikau. Let's just say Luke Thompson. Is there anyone else?
Well, when Fox comes back, it'll
just this week.
Yeah, which is this week. Essentially, it'll just be Thompson, Kikau. Chris Patolo, but he was always on the fringes.
Does he slot into your 17, or is he
Patolo?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't played in.
I think they put him in reserves.
Yeah, he's playing in reserves at the moment.
So now you're missing Thompson and Kikau.
Pretty much.
Right. Those two does make a big difference still.
They went back to ages, I think so.
Instead of, what was that, sorry?
I don't think they're two back to around 20, isn't it?
They're both very late. Thompson might be a bit before that, but I think, look, Canterbury are 4-6, 4-7?
4-7, yeah.
No buys. I think they're doing better than what people probably expected them to do. I know.
You think so?
I think they're copying more treatment, more harsh treatment. They're only 4-7. It's not like they're 2-9 or 2-8-1.
Isn't this the same performance as last year? I think.
No, a lot better already. And in saying that, I don't think they've even hit their straps because I know there is huge improvement in that side. They will make more signings. They really, in my eyes, they really haven't even sparkled in attack here. But so there is going to be a game this year, I think. They're going to put something together.
Yeah.
Josh comes back this week. Look, it might be late in the season, but I'm just thinking they haven't really sparkled in an attack yet.
We haven't done anything in attack.
They're 4-7, so
we've had a good few games, right? But then if you look at in terms of defense, we're one of the worst teams in defense. We have the worst for and against. We've won 4 out of 11, which isn't much better than Trent Barrett's
I think Barrett was like 4 wins in 2 years. So
I think it was eight wins in 2 years. But
you're not even halfway through the season. I think you guys will hit at least 10 wins this year.
I think Omar was right on that statement he made last
3
podcast.
years?
Yeah, I think 3 years. And I think you said earlier that he was right. He did say,
look,
I don't know. It's not on the record.
Off the record.
It's not on the record.
Off the record, but I'm just saying.
He's now.
I don't know what Brandon's saying. I think Brandon's just stirring the pot.
But that was off the record.
I still think the Bulldogs will make the 8 this year.
I think James Graham's retracted his statement. I think, look, it looks even more telling now that Omar last week pointed out they do need a chief playmaker to slot in the halves.
Yeah.
Whether you want to keep Burton there or move him to the centres, either way, they still need a chief playmaker.
To make noise, you think? Like to make noise?
Yeah, you need some of the sparkle in attack.
I don't think... I honestly don't think Burton is a 7. But having said that, I don't think Josh Reynolds has suited playing alongside Burton either. Josh Reynolds has the energy, but I don't think he has that athleticism or the X factor.
Do you think you're best suited having Flanagan back at 7 and Burton in 6? You get a near 50% win rate with them two there, so...
I think they should go back to that.
And probably have one of your young guns such as Alawaipu, or even you got a few other young guns that probably deserve a run as well. Khalid, Rajab and Haywood. Give them a go each, maybe alternate. If they keep playing good, keep one of them on the bench.
Well, it's after round 11. They can bring someone up now.
Well, they can bring a lot of people up and, I think we were more cohesive with Flanagan there. I know that sounds...
That actually sounds good. I mean, if he's a more cohesive...
Yeah.
No, we did feel... Even in defence, I thought we were a lot more cohesive with Flanagan there.
Oh, yeah, and I thought you guys were starting to work out some combos in attack.
I agree. But the thing is, someone always has to be the 4 guy, and it's always Flanagan. And I don't think that's totally fair. But having said that, Flanagan, his problem is that he's a 7, and he's not playing like a 7. He's playing his part in the team, but it's not what the team needs to win games.
Well, I'll tell you what, teams like St. George and West Tigers got a more heralded halfback in, for example, Ben Hunt and Luke Brooks. I know Luke Brooks does cop a lot of stick, but he's more heralded than Flanagan, and he's performed, or his sides have performed a lot better than both those sides. I think both those sides have combined together got the same amount of wins that Canterbury's got this year.
I think they need a leader. I don't think those 2 captains are making enough noise. No offense, Reed and
Burton.
And no, the captains.
Yeah, Reed and Burton. They're the captains.
No, isn't
Raymond Faitala-Mariner. He's the club captain. He's the overall club captain, but not the on-field captain. The on-field captain.
It's not the on-field.
No, Reed, Miney, and Burton.
I think they need to come more and...
I thought Josh Addo-Carr was your captain.
To be honest, he plays like it. Our team performs
I honestly
like it.
thought he was.
No, he's not. He's like a cultural leader.
I thought he was. I looked at him as more of a leader than I thought he was your actual on-field leader.
No, but he should be. Like, I think the team with Addo-Carr in it this week will be very different to what it was last week.
I honestly thought it feels like he runs the whole side.
Yeah, because
and the ref seems to converse with him even more than the other 2 gentlemen. So,
but look, I mean, there's just so much. Like at the Bulldogs, just little problems that are, like I find the attacking black holes. Like Hayes Perham, right? He averages for the year 150 meters a game. That's a very big average, right? That's a very, very high average meters per game.
Look,
but the problem is, it's not about the workload that he's doing. It's not about the amount of runs that he takes.
I just want to point out when it comes to meter stats, for someone like a fullback or the wingers, I always find it very, very irrelevant because somebody could put a towering kick. The chase is about 40 metres away. You can do it 10 times a game. That's 10 quick returns, 20 metres each. That's your 200 metres.
Yeah, just like that.
I mean, I don't think it will vary much between the backs in terms of 150 or 170. You might find other backs are averaging about 190. I honestly, that's just my opinion.
No,
I mean, right. I don't know how the scouts look at it, or I mean, rather than the talent or the coaches. But I find that a very irrelevant stat. For me, those sort of stats, run meters, are more relevant, I find. Maybe for centres, maybe definitely for forwards, middlemen, and even dummy halves. I sort of, it's very relevant for dummy half how many times he's pinching meters or taking a quick scoot out of dummy half. I just want to see that sort of, that's where I think the stat's more relevant. For a fullback, I reckon it's more relevant how he backs up in defence, how he organises defence, how he places himself in attack, how he links up.
Well, he does
support
that.
play.
But I was getting to that, right? Like,
Sorry to interrupt.
that's when I say like he's sort of an attacking black hole, and I don't want to.
No, you've made it right. Yeah, that's good.
I don't want to harp on this too much, but in terms of linking up, in terms of running in support, in terms of positional play, you always find that the opposition scores a really sort of easy try because Perham is not there where he should be as a fullback.
Does he have a good? I mean, these days, the fullbacks is generally seen as a second five. I don't know if I can use that term. Like rugby, and you got the inside term, which is referred to as second five. Does he have a good pass, link up play to him?
I haven't seen it.
He doesn't.
That's the
You
problem.
get the second fullback next week.
See, I mean, like I know Turbo Tom's struggling at the moment with fitness, or I should say fitness really, because his legs don't seem to be going with him. But he's got a good passing game to him, so he can literally find the outside man. He can look left and right with what seems all the time in the world. Latrell's another one. He seems to just have a lot of time in the world. Reece Walsh.
Perham doesn't have that. I just feel like he's there to take the ball when it's kicked on the last and return it. I don't feel like he's very one-dimensional as a fullback. Like you look at a lot of the fullbacks that are in successful teams, right? They're everywhere where the attack is. Well, I just don't find that with Perham. Like Perham is like you want Perham to be the last man, sort of to throw the last pass out to your winger or your centre to score. Perham's not there, or if he does, he never gets it right.
Do you find that he's there because he's safe? Like, is he decent under the high ball? Is he solid defence, solid, doesn't really miss tackles? Do you find that he's there because that was probably their best option at the time being?
Well, he's not. Because if you look at how Averillo performed last year at fullback when Mick Potter put him there, I thought he had an excellent time at fullback. He's got the speed. He's got the
last year, Mick Potter.
Yeah. After Trent Barrett left, he had the speed. He's got the athleticism. He's got the
vision.
I think
he played in the halves before.
He played in the half, so he does have a passing game.
He's causing some collateral damage.
And even at centre, you get the ball to him. Like that 20 minutes against the Warriors, we looked good. The reason we looked good was because we started to get early ball to Averillo, and Averillo was. At any moment, he was making tackle breaks, maybe not line breaks, but you could tell that if we kept going there, we were going to get a result out of it, right? And we just didn't keep doing that, right? It was just like, give it to Burton, he puts it up and hope for the best. And it's very one-dimensional. We didn't really throw much at the opposition. And if you look at how we played first 3 to 4 weeks, we threw so much more at the opposition. Like against the Rabbitohs, we got smashed that game. But in the first 5 minutes, we threw the ball out wide. Kyrgios passes the
did that against the Warriors as well in the first game. Do you remember when Addo scooted down the whole length of the field?
And I think we've gone away from that because our forwards aren't making the meters. I think Raymond Faitala-Mariner should be on his last chance. He's just not performing, neither in defense nor in attack. He came out during the week last week before the Warriors game.
Do you think he'll be a better impact player than starting, or?
Honestly, at this point, I think it would be better if we were to bring in a number 12. Or an 11 or something.
What about? I know you're looking for a fullback. I know you touched on a good point there, Jake Averillo. But which brings us to our next guy, Blake Wilson. How do you think he'll go at fullback? Do you think he's worth a try? Or
look, to be honest, my opinion is you don't want to throw a person who's just debuted into fullback, right? Because if you were to drop Perham and put Blake Wilson at fullback, it will cause some ripples in the team. It will cause a little bit of drama, and you don't want to do that. But if you were to drop Perham or swap them, right, put Perham at centre, put Averillo at fullback, and see what the combinations are like there, right? You're probably going to less likely cause as much friction. But if you were to drop Perham and then put Wilson at fullback, I think that can cause some friction and drama in the team, and you sort of don't want to do that.
Well, I think you'll like this next one I'm going to point out. What about Josh Addo-Carr? He's a live wire. He's quick. He'll definitely back up on the inside. Oh, he'll burn him.
That's what I was thinking.
He will absolutely burn him. He's decent under the high ball. Imagine him linking up on the inside or the outside of your or whoever's looking to pass into a half a gap. He's going to burn those forwards around the middle. So
I don't mind that actually.
I think,
but he doesn't have good hands.
I think. at one stage, when he was going to sign for Canberra, looking for a Sydney club, he was making noise about wanting to play fullback.
Yeah,
so
He was. Yeah.
give him the chance. Why doesn't somebody go up to him? Have they considered it? I hope they have, because if they haven't, it's very silly of him.
But he doesn't have great hands though. You know how you run the sweep and this cut out ball. He hasn't done much of those.
Well, you know
He's
what?
capable of that.
Training makes him better. If they put him out training to play that position, I'm sure he can improve his passing game.
Yeah.
But I just think in the side of him linking around plays and then even jetting, on the inside or outside of tired forwards, he's the quickest player in the game.
He is.
Forwards are going to more likely miss him than, say, Hayes Perham, for example.
Well, look, Hayes Perham's very quick off the mark, and he's got good feet. Like, he's a good stepper.
Quick off the mark, but you got Josh Adokar. You got the fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
Feel good. The fastest man in the world.
Yeah. Look, overall,
And then you got Jake Averillo, the second fastest man in the world. So you got two good options there.
Is Jack really the
He's
second?
very fast.
he's very fast. Yeah,
Yeah,
once he
that
gets
one.
going,
Very
he's
fast.
very hard to stop. And
he's
that's
got
what's
size.
exciting about him. And he's got size. He's got the
got
passing
size too.
game. I mean, he's got the kicking game, so he can even support, Oloapu Burden, in taking those kicks or putting in some grubbers. The thing is, I think that Perham is Seraldo's experiment, and Seraldo isn't going to give up on Perham that easily. That's my honest opinion.
Who do your doggies have this week?
We're versing the Titans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Up in the coast?
No, so we're versing them in Sydney at Accor Stadium. And I honestly, look, I think the Dogs can win, but it'll be very tough.
Which day?
It'll be on Sunday at 2 p.m.
Ooh, I might actually head up to a Canterbury game. Maybe we'll get, hopefully, the Kennel TV happening.
Yeah, that would be.
We did promise it last time. So
did.
But yeah, look, I'm sort of disappointed in the team. I expected some improvement, but we went in and there was, by halftime, I was just putting
it was.
my hair out.
Look, I'm not going to disagree. It was a subdued performance.
Subdued is being very polite. It was a shit performance.
They were
It was
back
a
at
shit
home.
performance. Let's just be honest, Dibbo, it was a shit
They were
performance.
back at home. They played Canberra the previous week. They didn't play to their ability, but they could have stolen the game. I thought, okay, they'll probably turn up this time. That was.
I also feel like some of our players are playing busted. Like, I think Max King is still injured. I do think Max King is playing injured, and I do think Kiraz is not 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we know Kiraz isn't 100%.
yeah.
Kiraz is definitely not 100%.
And he's still playing.
They've had about 8 days to recover now. The game was
Yeah,
on
so it's-
Saturday.
yeah,
so
8
it's a bit of recovery. So
No, Friday. So
9 days.
Yeah, so
There you go. That's
9
good.
days. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good
I think
recovery.
we should be a bit better this week.
But I still think you guys will lose. I think Titans is just on another level.
Well, the thing is, the Titans have good attack but poor defense.
I'm going to go Canterbury to win this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Is
am.
that why, because you're going to the game, you think Canterbury's going to win?
I'm going to go Canterbury, yeah. I actually think
By-
Canterbury. Titans are a dreadful side.
But they're up and down, though.
No, they're dreadful. They didn't even deserve to win against a few of those games. They didn't even deserve to win.
But I mean,
Ref helped them get over the line.
they're good.
Come
They're
on.
good in
Yeah,
attack.
they're
Look, they're very good in attack. They're scoring an average of something like 22, 24 points. It's not a bad. And the thing is, right now our defense is shot. We can't defend for our lives. Like, no matter what we do, we just can't defend. Like, some of those Warriors tries, that Adam Fanua Blake try, that shouldn't.
That
like,
was so easy.
How did we?
Can you tell me how easy that
Don't
was?
let us down, Canterbury.
Josh Reynolds. I mean, what can I
He
say?
just got the ball and went straight in the middle, and he was just cruising it like he was playing A-grade footy.
But I'll tell you, look, there are some
He scored
positives.
against
No
them
offense,
last
dogs.
time.
A-grade footy is fine.
There were some positives, I think, out of that game, though. I'll tell you, Blake Wilson, great debut. He played,
he played well.
190 meters or something, made 16 runs, had a line break. I thought he played very well. Harrison Edwards continues to improve week on week, and I think he's a mainstay at lock. He has a very, very good passing game, and he plays, on average, he's playing about 68 minutes. Right, 65 to 68 minutes. Right. He's making a lot of meters. I like him there at lock more than I like Raymond Faitala Mariner. As I say, Raymond Faitala Mariner should be on his last chance.
Yeah.
Right? If he doesn't improve drastically, I think that we should start really, for next year, blooding some people, because the way I'm looking at it is Raymond Faitala Mariner is not he's not excelling in defense, he's not excelling in attack, he's not excelling in passing. He's not linking up with his edges. He's taking runs that aren't really that don't make. He has no real post contact meters. So it's he's sort of being a blocker now as opposed to an enabler. Like, he's not helping his edges. Like, you look at Preston, for example. I mean, the guy's going from strength to strength every week. And even when we have poor games, Preston still plays to his absolute top best ability. Right? He's unbelievable. And I can't believe, we were able to uncover him, and he's playing really well. Jacob Kiraz, Averillo, they're playing great.
Should Dogs start looking at the reserve grade and bringing some boys up?
That's my point. We should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think if Perham has another shocker, it'll be very hard for Ciraldo to justify having him there at fullback when we do have other options.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah, even if you wanted to try, a Josh Papali'i from reserve grade, he's playing really good. It's just something needs to be done, and
Needs a change.
You find what you find is the positions that are supposed to be the most creative and the most attack oriented for the Bulldogs aren't. And you look at how much work Reedmine is trying to do. Like, he's kicked 4 or 5 40-20s already, the most in the competition. People don't do that in their whole career. He's already done it in 11 games. The amount he's had to do defensively in attack, the amount he has to do as captain, there's just too much on his shoulders. And I know it's still, we haven't not even halfway through the season. But if we don't win this week against the Titans, it will be halfway through the season, and we will only have 4 wins, and we can pretty much write finals off at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't want to be halfway through the season thinking, mathematically we might be able to make it. No, you want to earn your stripes and get to the finals on the back of your.
Do you still believe Dogs will make top 8? Like, your honest
lengthening
opinion.
every day.
I still don't see it. I honestly don't see it.
It's lengthening every day.
Look, here's the thing. It's getting harder and harder every week.
It is.
If we win this round and then we go into a bye, we will go in with 4 points, right? Yeah. And then we come back refreshed after a bye. We would have had something like 13 days off, and we're ready to start all over again. Luke Thompson starts to get close to coming back. Some of the boys playing with those niggles start to doing a little bit more rehab. We can start playing that good footy again. We can sort out our halves. I think we can, and Carl Aloapu now starting, I think it should be said to him, go out and play your natural game.
He will.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see Burton telling him
13 days off. Wow.
Stay back.
That's good.
Let's hope they don't go Bali.
Well, Newcastle came back and won,
and they smashed it. So
they did, yeah.
But you know what I mean, like,
and Ponga had a day out. So yeah,
a long one.
So that's what I think. That's what I'm hoping for. I think if we can gel defensively, we can win.
Yeah.
That's what I think. If we can defend consistently against the Titans, we will win.
Yeah.
But if we come out with the same attitude that we have the last 2 weeks, I reckon they'll put 30 on us easily. Because they're a good attacking side. It's just defensively where they struggle.
I've tipped Canterbury, so that better not be the case. Unless they win.
I think Titans plus 13.
Wow, that bad, eh?
Yeah, well, you never tip doggies anyway because you never watch the games.
No, that's what people say. You know how many comments there was. Does Brendan watch the games?
So yeah, but that's it. What are your thoughts? Do you think if the Dogs can defend, they can win?
I think Dogs will win by 8 points. So I think Canterbury are going to be too strong at home. They want to do it for their fans. They're going to play with some punch.
The Gold Coast is back.
The Titans are going to go missing. Their forwards aren't going to rock up, so they're going to have stage fright.
It sounds believable what you're saying, but honestly, I just think
because they've had a few games this year. Titans should have won. They did have stage fright, so their forwards didn't even rock.
The Dolphins, they were up by.
No, even against the Dragons at Cogra, like I didn't even see Tina Famasuli and David Fafita the whole game. They weren't sighted.
Yeah,
they got it in them.
I just want to see TPJ come out and tear in. Tavita Pangai Jr. needs to, like, the thing is, he's averaging about 100 meters a game, which honestly, like, if
he's not playing a whole game either. He's playing
44 minutes.
That's it's about half a game.
Is that who he's playing?
Oh, wow. He's good as an impact player, but give him about 50 to 60 minutes, maybe about 60 minutes. I reckon they've got to manage his time better.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so. That was quite disappointing to discuss. It's a bit heartbreaking at the moment for us because we expect better as Doggies fans, but we're not getting it. But he's still hoping. Now onto State of Origin, guys. I cannot wait. State of Origin Game 1, May 31st. I am honestly just counting down the days until it happens.
I want to start off. Who is the pairing?
It's a good question.
Who is the pairing? Is it Nico Hines? Is it Jerome Luai? I don't know who they're going to choose. I honestly think Jerome Luai after his performance against Penrith. Roosters.
I think Freddie was making some comments about Jerome. He was making some positive comments. I can't remember exactly what the comments were, but it was that game that Penrith shellacked the Roosters.
Yeah.
And it made me take note and think, I think Freddie's got him in his team still.
Yeah. What did he say?
I can't remember, but he was saying something about Jerome is the best at this. I think
Because he commentated that game and he was just saying Jerome this, Jerome that.
Yeah, and he commentated this one.
But Jerome Luai did have a good game against the Roosters.
Absolutely killed it.
And I feel but when I heard Freddie making this one,
I watched that game. Everyone who's just wondering, I watched the whole game.
And I thought,
80 minutes.
The whole 80 minutes.
I think Jerome will be Freddie's go-to for the first game. But if he doesn't perform, he probably will go for Nico because if they don't win that first game, he's going to look for some sort of inspiration.
So then my question is, because I wouldn't change the pairing of.
I prefer Luai and.
But either way, I'm a Queensland
fan at this time.
I'm a Queensland fan, so it doesn't really matter what you guys choose.
Just remember, he's one of those born in New South Wales, bred in New South Wales, but supports Queensland wankers. One of those
He's
types.
mistaken identity. He's got no idea who he supports.
Got identity crisis.
It doesn't really matter who you guys choose. Our pairing's already ready.
Honestly, you don't join in then. I think. Look, I don't want to. I think that they make a good combination. I do think that Luai though can go missing. That's my one thing. Luai goes missing when there's pressure to perform. So does Cleary, to be honest, in Origin anyway. In club games, grand finals, Cleary's the best. But in Origin, I find over the last couple of years, he has gone a little bit missing.
I'm actually more concerned about who's going to be New South Wales forwards more than the halves. Because you'll get, and God forbid, but, if he ends up on the bench, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does get put on. But you got Payne Haas, who should be one of your starting front rowers.
He will be starting.
Who's going to be pairing him as the other intimidator? They're looking
at Clemmer.
He's an intimidator. I would have loved to see TPJ play Origin, but he's come late into the season. His form's been patchy.
Yeah,
He'd be great for State of Origin.
He'd be great off the bench.
He's made for those sort of games, whether starting or on the bench.
But he's not proving himself. That's the problem.
I don't see Junior Barlow as an intimidator. I don't see him as a starter. He's a big boy. Origin pace is quite quick. I still probably have him on the bench, but
he'll be there.
And he worked great off the bench a few years ago, I think. I wouldn't mind Clemmer starting because he's a passionate New South Welshman.
Yeah.
I would love him to have him because when he played, he performed.
I think the Saifidi brothers.
Look, I wouldn't say no to David.
Daniel?
Yeah, it's Daniel, sorry, not Jacob. Daniel
or Jacob.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to them. They do come out firing.
And every time they've played Origin, both of them, they've played very, very well.
And they do have a go at the opposition, so a bit of intimidators.
They are fiery.
I'd have Haas and one of them starting. That's actually a good one. And the other, and maybe Parlo and maybe Clemmer in there on the bench. Probably.
I would have,
and I'd have probably Carousel as the other hooker because Origin. Origins. I don't see a hooker playing all of Origin anymore. I mean, Queensland used 2, New South Wales used 2. It's such a quick pace game. You need your ruck speed to stay up there.
Do you reckon they'll choose Turbo after his injuries?
I think the longer he takes to get his body right and back into form, the odds of choosing him for that first game is lengthening. I mean, Campbell Graham's been defensively brilliant this year, attacking wise. I think he's a top try scorer. It is very hard to ignore because he has been very safe this year and very, very, when I mean safe, in attack and in defence, and he's been dynamic in attack.
He has been.
So do you have Fox on one of the wings?
Oh, definitely. I would have that pocket rocket on my wing all the time.
I think it depends on this game on Sunday.
Nah, regardless. He's one of those guys that even if he didn't play for 6 weeks and then came back 1 or 2 weeks for Origin, he's in my side. That's what it is. He's on the wing.
If he was a Queenslander, I reckon by now he would have played about 30 State of Origins.
He hasn't been around for 10 years, has he?
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's the type of player that...
I can't believe he missed out last year.
For me, that still boggles my mind.
He's about to break the New South Wales try-scoring record as well, and they didn't choose... Regardless... And he was playing well for Canterbury. In a well-beaten side, he was still
he got 16 tries last year. He got 16 tries last year in a team that only won 5 games.
That was a mind-boggling decision. I'm going to choose Tupou for the high ball. Well, lo and behold, Tupou was getting out-leaped by his opposition Queenslander, and he blew a few tries and cost us a few tries in defence as well. So...
I think
Freddie's up there when it comes to coaching decisions. He's up there with
Laurie Daly.
No, our mate Anthony Griffin. There was some things you could see that he wasn't calling, and we'll get to that.
Common sense, I think, but
some of it,
for me, I would have RP starting at hooker.
Or I'd have him on the bench, maybe.
I'd have Cook on the bench because I think that he provides that explosiveness when the forwards are tired.
Yep.
The way he runs around and runs through, he's got that speed. I think he would be better attacking a tired defense, whereas you let Arpi do the creativity and the defensive work because he's so strong defensively. So I think I would have Arpi starting with Cook on the bench. I would have Tyson Frizzell in my second row. So I would have Frizzell.
We got Frizz back in the front.
Oh, absolutely. Have you seen how we've been playing for the Knights?
Yeah, I know he's been playing great. He's always been that dynamic. I just thought they just didn't choose him anymore.
No,
they haven't chosen him for 2 years.
I wouldn't have Angus Crichton in the team.
No. He needs more time. I realise he's going to need more time. It might come into the frame for the second or third game.
Yeah. I think you have Frizzell, Graham. What
about any bolters? Would you choose Liam Martin and Isaiah Yeo back in there and Cam Murray?
Honestly, I would have Liam Martin on the bench. I wouldn't mind Liam Martin on the bench.
What about your Canberra bolter?
Hudson Young? Yeah. I think he'll do a great job. But...
Oh, wait, we forgot a few others. Ola Kawatu.
I was about to say...
And what about... Where's Kalamatangi?
Do you choose him? Kalamatangi is injured.
Is he injured?
Yeah.
Oh, what a loss.
But would you have Hudson Young over Ola Kawatu? I think Ola Kawatu is...
Can we have them both? One on the bench and one starting? Or both on the bench?
I think you start Frizzell. You start Frizzell and... who's the Rabbitohs captain? Cameron Murray.
Cam Murray.
Cam Murray and Isaiah Yeo in the second row. You have Ola Kawatu. You have Junior Barlow, David Clemmer, and Damien Cook.
I just find... I don't know if you're correct, but... Don't you find we kind of like lack one hard-running second row with both Cam Murray and Isaiah both starting? Don't you find they're both like similar sort of players?
Yeah,
they're hard workers.
Hard workers. I find that Cam Murray probably is a bit more dynamic. But I just feel like you got two of those sort of players. Can one of them be on the bench?
Would you start Ola Kawatu then?
Bloody oath! I need a hard-running edge second row.
Yeah,
what about Liam Martin? Liam Martin's a hard-running second row.
Not as near as Ola Kawatu, but yeah, he's a solid player.
I don't know. You guys underestimate Liam Martin. I think Liam Martin's really good.
I feel like he's good in defense, but he lacks in attack.
No, I think he can be really explosive.
He'll probably give you about 80, 90 metres in attack.
New South Wales is not as strong as Queensland at the moment.
I'm worried because I'm looking at Queensland's side.
You can just
bloody hell.
It's just something else.
It's like who's going to be? It's like you're debating now who's going to be starting fullback. That's how.
So my question is then: is Brian To'o an automatic selection on the other wing?
Yeah, I'd have To'o.
Absolutely.
Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian's another forward.
He's strong. Yeah, he is. Like a forward on the wing.
I'm not denying how great he is.
Yeah,
I'm not denying how great he is at all. I'm just saying. Is he an automatic selection?
Yeah, his form warrants.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be selected. It's just asking the question. Like, no, everyone's talking about that left wing, but no one's sort of talking about the right wing. I'm just asking.
He's automatic.
You know why? It's just that what happened and eventuated last year. You know, how the hell do you not choose him for all 3 games? Not 1, not 2, but 3 games when he was available.
So.
No, I'm talking about Josh Adokar. And, you know, there was a case to choose him after the first game.
No, I agree.
There was a massive case, and then he didn't get chosen. They won the second, okay, but, I mean, there was still a case to choose him after the second game even. And then the third game just
what if Tedesco comes out and has a poor game?
This week?
No, you know, honestly, do you honestly think Teddy would be your best fullback option? For me, it's never been. I'd have Latrell. I'd always thought Latrell or Turbo Tom were better fullbacks than he was. Still do now.
I actually think Latrell right now is... I know we've got some great fullbacks in the game, but I think Latrell's the form fullback of the competition.
Right now, his stats are killing.
I've always thought Teddy's your same type of player. Kick returns are great. He's a good runner. He breaks tackles. He runs from dummy half. But that's about it. I don't see any other dimensions, and I think they're starting to read him and he's read his style, and he's kind of like starting to slow down. I find
a little bit. And the other thing is, I think that Latrell brings that aggression.
And Latrell brings a ball-playing dimension as well.
But he's just got that aggression. He's got that anger.
He's the X factor.
That get out of my way. I'm the best. I'm going to win.
Like, I'm the X factor.
That's what I love.
Even when playing the ball, he's still rough.
Yeah. I like that. And you have him, and then you have Fox on the left outside him. You've got To'o on his outside. And then you've got Turbo and Graham in the middle.
Yeah, and look what he's doing for South. But even if we go back 4 and 5 years ago, he's still a young Latrell, very young, early 20s. That first one against Melbourne when they won the grand final, he monstered his opponents.
Oh, absolutely.
And they tore Melbourne apart.
Yeah.
And then the following year against Canberra, he was the difference between the sides. He got the Roosters home in the end. even in a tight game, he's going to get you home, and he's done that for Souths quite a bit this year, quite a bit the last few years. Ever since the Roosters lost him, they haven't been the same either. So for me, Latrell's your X factor. I mean, he's going to be in the centres. He's still going to be your X factor. New South Wales missed him last year.
I think New South Wales, if we had Tom and Latrell last year, we'd win. That's why a lot of people are saying, do you still choose Tom? I think Tom is like Toto. He has to be in the team.
Everyone watches them too. Teddy gets more space and time. The forwards do, the backs do.
I reckon if you have those two players back, I reckon Latrell.
I just hope
Teddy
Turbo
will kill it.
Good. I really want to see him in that side, but
Turbo, yeah, he'll be there. Centre.
See, my problem is a lot of the team, a lot of the guys are predicting Crichton at wing. Like Fox Sports is saying Crichton on the wing.
No, I don't think
so. That's what happens when you got your fanboys and your ex-players on the panel, like jobs for mates such as Brandy Alexander. Every game, every episode, he is literally pissing in Penrith's pocket. Yeah, it's like no other side exists besides them. Of course, it reminds me of Sterlo on Channel 9 back in the day. Any para player got to put forward. So naturally, Brandy's going to put any Penrith player forward. He's one of their favourite sons. He loves the club.
Crichton will be in the top 23, and I don't think he'll be.
I mean, I'm sure, Stephen Crichton at centre wouldn't let you down, but I'm just thinking.
But he's been poor.
And he wouldn't let you down on. No, he's been all right.
No, last year I think he played centre last year.
He didn't do much, but he wouldn't let you down on the wing either. But I just think you got your lineup set. Dotto, Dotto and Josh Addo-Carr, and then Latrell and hopefully Turbo in the centres. He comes good this week. And I know he'll go with Teddy at fullback, so that's your 5.
You've got,
and I got my halves as Luai and Cleary.
Oh, so you got Luai?
Yeah, I do, of course. Yeah. I didn't see it changing unless nothing happens in that first game. Then Nico, and look, I wouldn't be sorry if Nico gets put in the 17th.
I think it'd be 18th man, Nico.
Yeah, but I prefer Appy and Cook to rotate. I need one of them on the bench, and then I need 3 forwards. I don't need a back on the bench. So
3 forwards. Yeah,
I don't need because if something happens to one of the backs, then Appy will have to play the whole 80. And Damien Cook can slot in on wing or the centre position because he defends well, and he's probably in the top 10 still fastest players in the game. But if
you have someone like Frizzell on the bench,
Frizzell could play in the centres.
Yeah, Frizzell could play in centres. He can prop second row.
Yeah,
lock.
He has played prop before.
Yeah,
and he was very effective as well.
That's what I mean. Like if you have someone like him, even Hudson Young could potentially play wing and things like that. Sorry, centre.
Yeah, he's very capable.
So like. I think the starting front row should be Payne Haas and Junior Bolo.
I don't want to see Payne Haas playing 80 minutes. I'd rather have him playing about 60, 65.
He won't play 80 minutes.
Yeah, we need the impact.
Like Junior Bolo and Payne Haas?
Junior Bolo and Payne Haas, the starting props. I think the starting second row and lock, it should be
Angus Crichton?
No, not Angus Crichton. I would have Isaiah Yeo at 13. I would have Cameron Murray at 12 and potentially Olakau'atu at 11.
That's good.
Right? I would have Olakau'atu at 11 or Tyson Frizzell.
If I'm gonna have 2 props on the bench, my third guy is going to be a second row. Or honestly, I'd rather see Cam Murray or Isaiah Yeo sit on the bench, one of them, and I'd have Olakau'atu as the other starting second row. So one of them will have to slot out lock between Isaiah Yeo and Cam Murray. The other sits on the bench. They will get game time limited.
So who else would you have then?
I'd have Frizz and Olakau'atu as his starting. And honestly, I'm actually leaning to Cam Murray as his starting lock.
Isaiah Yeo.
Or otherwise, if you want Cam Murray to fill in the second row, then I'd have Isaiah Yeo.
I don't like too much change. That's my honest truth.
I just think they're 2 similar players. You need more of a conventional running second row.
I'm with you, but I would leave Isaiah Yeo at 13. I would have Olakau'atu and Frizzell. Because look, a lot of the predicted teams, they have Liam Martin at 12, Cam Murray at 11, and Isaiah Yeo at 13.
A lot of the predicted teams are coming from probably Penrith former players. Or
No. There's a lot of different, people out there.
Honestly, Freddie should make the tough call. I don't think he should be in the 17. He hasn't been crash hot this year. Liam Martin. We've lost the series last year.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think Liam Martin...
Freddie's just got to pull up his socks and say, hey...
I don't think Liam Martin's been better than Frizzell.
You know what? I don't like how Brandy's got too much of an influence on choosing his side.
But he's a selector, so of course he's going to have influence.
But he just seems to go, players from his club.
They've been the best team for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but there's better players for that position at other clubs.
Like
honestly, if you can't make
what about Dal Finucane?
No, I don't see him.
You know what? He would never let you down.
Yeah.
But he's not the crash. He's not the crash hot forward.
He played. You know what? He's played brilliant at Orange. Every time he played, how good was he?
He's strong.
He's all right.
Strong, yeah.
He's all right.
I thought he was dynamic,
He's
and he can play
alright.
prop as well.
Like even for the Sharks, he's not bad by any stretch, but I don't think he's one of those dynamic second rows that you.
Can I just point out one that Canterbury let get away? He was at Basil High, I think.
Dale Finucane?
Yeah.
I mean,
he went to a Basil High School. He didn't go to any sports.
no, he's a country boy.
No, but he went to Basil High.
Dale Finucane.
Yeah.
I remember him.
But
Canterbury let him go.
A lot of people are also saying, Jake Trebojevic will be back by then, and he should be.
No, please do not choose someone that has the impact as much as what Pancakes will have on the
honestly,
field.
I don't think.
I don't see him there.
I don't think he's played.
I hope he's not there.
He's ridiculous.
Jeez.
I don't think he's deserving, but that's
He's just been softened up. He's not the same player he was about 4 or 5 years ago.
No,
he's
he's
honestly been softened up.
But I think the Queensland team will be excellent.
They're going to be scary excellent. I just hope they don't
I
rock
reckon our
up.
second team will be you
I
guys.
just hope they I just hope
You're a
Queensland.
Queensland supporter. Shut up.
I just hope Queensland capitulate.
Queensland- human being.
Queensland reserve side will be these guys.
Bro, that's like I don't know, bro.
Who's going to be the starting halves of Queensland? Now we're there.
Starting half.
Yeah.
We'll get the whole team.
It'll-
Kellen Ponga will be our fullback.
Yeah, who's your halves? DCE.
Half. DCE, of course, yeah.
He's still playing good, but I do see signs of slowing down as well.
Who would be his partner?
Munster.
Munster.
Cameron Munster.
Bloody hell.
Of course.
See, there you go.
I reckon you have Ben Hunt.
That's the sort of
David
players
Fafita.
you want. Except people are trying to piss in Liam Martin's pocket, have him there. Isaiah. They're not intimidators.
And then
You
we
want
have
your
your player.
in-your-face sort of players, hard runners.
Hang on. Do you put Kalen Ponga at fullback? He's incredible. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
He's
Kalen Ponga.
brilliant in every single origin. Even on losing sides,
Yeah,
he's
he's
been
very good.
absolutely spectacular. He reminds you of Trent Barrett. Trent Barrett never had a bad start of origin game. Times at club level, his form was ordinary, but in state of origin, he picked up quite a bit of man of the
Our
match
wingers
awards.
are Cobber and I think we should choose the fullback of Redcliffe. What's his name?
Hamiso?
Hamiso.
What about him at centre?
Oh yeah, that's another good option.
No, they got Valentine Holmes.
Got Valentine Holmes, yeah.
He'll
Who
go
else?
He'll go wing.
And the
Gay
guy
guy?
that never lets you down,
Dane Gagai? Yeah.
he's still playing decent, man.
Yeah.
And he's a beast at state of
Yeah,
origin.
but
He's
you could
just
also
absolute
you could also have Xavier Coates on the other wing.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a
Xavier
lot of
Coates.
selections.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Xavier
you can
Coates.
just name these players. That's what I'm saying.
Look at the depth they got. The only thing
Yeah.
they might lack is if, say, DCE or what's his name again? Forgot his name already. Can you believe it?
Cameron Munster.
Munster go down. Who are their backup
Ben
options?
Hunt.
Besides Ben Hunt, who's probably better suited to hooker.
You can have Ben Hunt at 7, right? Munster at 6 or DC at 6.
I think
Ben Hunt
Hunt-
7. You can even bring in Reid
I
Marnie
think-
as a backup hooker.
I think Harry Grant or Ben, they'll be your hookers. They're
Yeah,
gonna have
Harry
to
Grant
alter-
is already a hooker. Yeah.
Does Garrett? I think who will start though? Is Ben Hunt better off starting?
Hunt starts.
Because Harry
Ben
Grant
Hunt
comes
starts.
on and the
Okay.
rack speed
Yeah,
just
yeah.
goes up 10 notches.
Hunt, Munster and DCE.
Well, to be honest,
that's scary for me.
this is hang on. This is the problem that I have with state of origin discussion is that we've been talking about the Blues now for the last 20 minutes, and we have just as much, if not more, depth than Queensland does. But you don't like.
But there's nothing in a lot of positions. There's nothing crash hot.
Yeah,
what's not crash hot?
Yeah.
Hang on. What's not crash hot?
Like, does New South Wales have a Munster?
Hang on a second. We have a Cleary.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But
No, hang on.
But can I point out
Do you
something?
guys have a Ponga?
No, before you go on, can Cleary do what Munster does? Because Munster, you chuck him at fullback,
Anyway.
and he's damage
No,
control.
that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you want to look at halves, right? We're arguing. We've got 3, potentially 4. If you look at Cody Walker, that could be there, right?
Yeah, but just to stop you there, you tell me Cleary goes missing. Since when has Munster gone missing? When the chips are down, Munster still shows up in a
Exactly.
well bad side.
And he's a New South Wales supporter. Listen to
What
this.
is Cleary?
I'm only being self-critical. I'm only being self-critical of my New South Wales team.
But you're
we're
telling me we
talking-
got a Cleary. I'm trying to tell you they got a Munster, and you're trying to put Cleary with Munster. And I'm trying to say that when you even pointed this out, when Cleary goes missing, he goes missing. Well, Munster, when does he ever go missing?
Not in Origin. Not in Origin.
In a well-beaten side, in a well-beaten in Melbourne, he's never gone missing.
He has gone recently missing
In what games?
in the last few games. Where was he with Brisbane? Against Brisbane, even though they won, they almost lost that game.
But he controlled that whole game.
To be honest, but look at the
And him and his halves correlated well together.
My argument is that we have just as much depth as Queensland does.
Cleary's great, and I think you hit the nail on its head. When the chips are down, Cleary can't pull anything out.
Only in Origin.
Exactly.
Only in Origin.
Munster can still pull it out.
No, but my argument is, again, you're missing the point of my argument. I'm saying that we have just as much depth in almost every single position.
I'm not going to lie. We do. But I just think on quality, they got some players that are made for the Origin arena. Do we have intimidators in your face such as Tina Famasuli?
Is that the problem? Is that a selection problem or is that an availability problem?
I reckon it's a selection problem.
That's my point.
Yeah. I hate our selectors from the day dot.
No, but that's my point. We have what Queensland has. We've just made really shit decisions.
You know what?
We have Adokar. You guys don't have a winger that matches up to Adokar.
Of course not. And you know what? The problem,
the speed wise, You
know what? Not just speed. In terms of who Adokar is in Origin, bro, that guy plays like his life depends on it for Origin every single game. Yeah. Right? You look at, for example, Latrell. We have a Latrell in centre. I think he should be playing fullback. I don't think Tedesco should be fullback.
You know, we got a nepotism problem in New South Wales. It's who you know, who's your buddy on the coaching panel. You know, who do we have from our club on the coaching panel, or who used to play for our club on the poaching or selective panel that's going to be rooting for us. That's what I've always found the New South Wales selection panel. It's like they choose their own.
It's not that they choose their own. I just think that we have...
No, that's what it is.
No. My problem with New South Wales is that sometimes we change too often. This is why I say I want Luai to stay at 6. Because here's what happens. With Queensland, no matter how badly any of these players play, they get chosen again and again, and then they start proving themselves out. Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Yeah. Let me finish, right? Yeah. The minute a player starts playing very well, right, for their team, New South Wales already wants to get rid of Luai and bring, what's his name? Nico Hines in. I'm not saying Nico Hines isn't playing out of his skin. I'm not saying Nico Hines doesn't deserve to be there. I'm just saying that we have a good formula. We have a great team. We have great forwards, great second row, and I don't think Luai has been particularly bad, but Luai keeps getting a bad rap. And the thing is, I don't feel like New South Wales men get behind Luai enough, and they want to dump him because we have a ready-made option. How do we know that Nico Hines is going to be able to translate that to the state of origin? Stick behind the person who's so passionate when New South Wales wins. He's the most passionate, he's the most vocal, he's the most loud. He's a New South Welshman through and through. Let's stand behind him. Right? That's what Queensland does with all their players. You look at all their players and how consistent.
Why we don't choose. Yeah, exactly. We don't choose players that want to play for the jersey because our most successful period, State of Origin, was the 90s. Those guys, they bled for that jersey. Paul Harrigan, Paul Sirinen, Glenn Lazarus, Laurie Daly, Ricky Stewart, Bradley Clyde.
Absolutely.
Those sort of guys, they bled for the jersey.
Are you telling me that Luai doesn't bleed for the New South Wales jersey? Be honest with me.
Of course he does. And I'm backing you up on that.
Don't you hate him as a Blues player?
We do.
Honestly, every Queensland player.
Even that photo he looked over... I think last year.
And you know what? Josh Adokar bleeds for that jersey as well.
Bro, he does. Yeah. You know who else bleeds for that jersey? Tom Trbojevic.
Of course he does.
Do you know who else bleeds for that jersey? Latrell Mitchell.
You know who also bleeds for that jersey? Elmo, guys.
No, I'm being serious. And you know what? And that's what pisses me off about...
You know what? He does because after a loss... You can't talk to him, and that's how we should react. You can't.
I'll be calling him.
We should watch the game together. No, but I mean, and that's my problem. Like everybody's like, okay, Nico Hines is playing well. I'm not denying how good Nico Hines is, but do you get rid of Luai and not stand by him all of a sudden because Nico Hines is playing well? We know that Luai can perform in the Blues. He's sometimes he's off, but the whole team has been off because of some other poor selections by Bradley Fittler. But Luai is made for Origin. Luai has the arrogance, has the confidence. He has the support of his number 7, has the support of the rest of the team. Why do we continue going back and forth about this stuff?
You know what's disappointing? Fittler played in that era, and he was center and focal of that era where they played for the Blues jersey because, you know, if he's not our greatest New South Wales player, he's just about.
Yeah.
And he was in that era where it was fiery, it was passionate, you know, and if he's not choosing his side... Yeah. Then he should tell, you know, he should be, if he's got those outside voices choosing his side, he should put his foot down and say, this is what the qualities I want to look for. As he pointed out, that they should be playing for that jersey. Yeah. Because honestly, it hasn't been like that for about a decade and a half at the least.
So Jerome Luai and
Nathan Cleary.
I think the last time we had some players playing for the jersey on a consistent basis was that 3-year period where Gould was the coach back to back and then Stewart came in.
Yeah.
That was literally the only sustained period. Because
early
Gould was the
2000s.
coach for the majority of the 90s with Ricky Stewart playing under him.
Yeah.
They know what you need out of your players.
These boys will die for their jerseys. I remember when Luai and Jerome went at each other, Australia versus Samoa.
Yeah.
They went.
Jerome and who?
Jerome versus Cleary. They went at each other because they were.
I want to see Cleary play more for that jersey because at this stage, Luai puts him in his pocket.
He does.
I know Cleary goes out there and he gives it his usual great performance, whether it's a 6 or 7 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10.
Do you know who I always thought put his body on the line for that jersey? And it's a shame that his form dipped, honestly, and I hope he makes a comeback.
Milford.
David Clemmer.
Yeah.
For the Blues.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Yeah.
I don't know what the go is there, why he fell out of favour.
He's averaging a lot of meters per game.
He always has. I just don't know why he fell out of favour.
That last couple of years, the night, I did think that his form was low, but he's gone back to the Tigers and he's only missed one tackle all year.
All year?
He's only missed one tackle. His efficiency is at like 99.9%.
He's never been a bad defender. He's always been aggressive.
He's a really good defender.
He's aggressive when he puts that jersey
But that's
on.
what I'm saying,
That
right?
jersey on.
He's got that aggression. And you look at, for example,
I remember we had Paul Harrigan. He used to hate the
I
Queensland.
think you guys should have Aaron Woods in your guys' side.
He used to honestly, Paul Harrigan.
Sorry. I had to say this.
Paul Harrigan, the amount of times I saw him punch a hole into Martin Bella as growing up, I'll never forget that. He punched Martin Bella black and blue, and then he must have creamed Trevor Gilmeister in tackles.
But see,
everyone.
That's all I want to see in this Blues team. I don't want to see this whole, let's pick on form. Get out of my face. Stop making stupid changes. Pick players who you know what? They might not even be the best, but you know if they go out there, they're going to give 100%.
But you know what? Sometimes he hasn't even picked based on form. Sometimes just been out of the blue.
Yeah,
like
I don't
this guy's
understand.
playing decent.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like I think him not choosing Adokar last year typifies just how poor of a coach.
That's like playing. Yeah, it reminds you of some coach playing Lomax on the left hand.
Oh, get over Hook. He's gone, bro. But that's it. And
as soon as he's out of the way.
But you know what? Let's not talk about the players. What about you guys' coaching staff? And our coaching staff they brought Billy Slater.
Billy Slater. A few
Melvin's
weeks ago,
hoping he wants to coach.
Bro, I was saying a couple of weeks ago that there's something about Queenslanders. Why are they so intelligent? Like you look at Blues players, right, and Blues coaches, and they're all like ahhing and umming, and they can't really talk. They're not good at. But you look at all the Queensland players. You look at Kalen Ponga. You look at Cameron Munster. You look at Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Christian Walsh. All of these players, when they get on a microphone, they speak so eloquently. They're very intelligent. Thurston's a joke. He can't speak for shit.
But meanwhile, St. George puts forward
one of the best players ever, and he's going to be forever.
Darren Lockyer?
Oh, but he's got a shit voice break. Get your voice fixed, Lockyer!
I'll tell you what happened when he copped that to the elbow. Ruined his voice box, and he won't do the op.
Like Billy Slater, I think
how
the
Ben Hunt
difference
sounds.
Honestly, I think the difference between the teams isn't even going to be the playing roster. It's going to be the coaching, and Billy Slater is going to get over Fitler again.
I'll be honest with you, I underestimated him last year, but he came through.
Me too.
He came through strong.
Me too. Bro, Ruben Cotter was making
Smith,
250,000 meters a game. How do you let Ruben Cotter make so many meters?
You got Cam Smith and Billy Slater, the focal points. Like, you got Thursto there, but wow, just those two alone.
Incredible.
You know what?
Incredible.
Whilst you're on that, and you pointed out a good thing about how intelligent and well presented these guys are, but when I listen to the Fox Sports or Fox NRL crew present, and then I listen to the Channel 9 crew present, the most intelligent and aesthetic on camera I find are those two. Billy Smith. Oh, sorry, Billy Smith.
Slater.
Billy Slater and Cameron Smith.
And don't forget Cooper Cronk with Fox Sports.
Can I point out something as well?
He's amazing.
No, please. Look, Cooper Cronk, he's not aesthetic on TV, sorry.
He is,
and
man.
he carries on.
But remember, those boys, all of them...
And he carries on.
Was it 12 series in a row?
Oh, bro, go watch the games, bro. Get your numbers right. Get out of my face. You can't even get your numbers right. Pretend to support Queensland.
What was that, sorry?
Was it about 12 series in a row?
I think it was 8 in a row.
Oh, sorry, 8.
But I think it was 10 in 11 years all up.
Yeah, wow. Just...
So
that would have hurt for you.
Who? What are you guys calling? Who do you think is going to win the series this year? Be honest.
Like what my heart or my brain says?
Brain, like logically speaking.
All right, sorry, heart. But anyway, I'm going to go. For some reason, we don't seem to get dead rubbers anymore, or we don't get a clean sweep anymore. So I'm going to go Queensland. I wish I could see the selections from now to say, because something tells me he's still going to Fittler's still going to screw up the selections.
Yeah,
He will.
I reckon he will.
So something tells me it's going to be Queensland will get it right. I'm going to have Queensland winning the series 2-1. That's just my brain saying it. But my heart says, come on, New South Wales.
Yeah,
you got
good for
this.
you.
Come on, boys.
Actually, this for some reason this year it seems like the Blues are going in underdogs, and
They are underdogs.
and I honestly think the Blues will get it this year.
I think the Blues, when they go in the underdog tag, don't just lose, they get blown away.
Nah, but the thing
As
is,
we found out in the eight in a row.
but if you look at our team this year and you look at the capability of the team this year, I don't think we'll get blown away. I actually think we'll win. We'll win 2-1.
There is a lot of capability.
guys
It's just that some of his decisions out of left field end up costing the team victory.
Yeah, like last year,
Last year, they should've-
Sifa Talakai, why the hell was he on the bench?
I mean, I can't believe they lost that series. Even in 2020, they lost the unlosable
That was the
series.
unlosable series.
That's what I want to, like, Cameron
That's
Munster.
why they lose series they should never
I
lose.
beat you guys New South Wales side. And you guys were way better than
But just on that, they lose series they shouldn't lose. So after the two, losing 2 out of the last 3 years, where they should have probably been up to 5 in a row or 6 in a row now.
100%.
I mean, what's changed? The guy still comes out of left field and chooses selections that.
Well, let's hope he's.
Well, I think my
learned.
team will clean sweep you guys easy.
Nah, get out of here, bro. You're,
Nah,
you're
I honestly do believe
You're the master of calling rubbish.
You know what I like doing on State of Origin night?
You're the master.
And I'll
of
be
calling
watching.
rubbish.
Hey, can I point out something the NRL got right? But what I like doing at NRL night is KFC, whether it's buckets
Yeah.
or KFC goes so good on State of
Wicked
Origin.
wings.
KFC sponsor us.
You know what? It's been like that every night. I mean, Burger District sponsor us if you're watching. I know you got some great fried chicken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Burger District in
nice.
Belmore, please.
So I think we should wrap up the State of Origin discussion there.
Free promo.
I just want to say, I just wanted to get your opinion on the Anthony Griffin sacking from the Dragons.
Can I point out something? It was made a lot worse for him because some of those players in that team absolutely got no brains. A lot of the decisions on the field cost the Dragons probably 3 or 4 victories. In saying that, yes, he did need to go because also some of his team selections. I mean, a 10-year-old could see that was something wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, Lomax, I think we called it from the first game we saw him play there. He's on the wrong side of the field. It took other people a few weeks to pick that up. And then literally you had probably 75% of the rugby league world, other fans calling for it. He's ineffective on the left. He's better off back on his right. Although Sully's been effective on the right, I think Sully was actually more effective on the left.
He was just as effective anyway.
Yeah, well, if not more.
Yeah.
You're right. You're not wrong. And then Mbai, I mean, Little plays great, but ends up on the bench and then out of the side. I couldn't understand that either.
I don't know why. It must have been that maybe Little was getting frustrated with the amount of time, and it was more of an attitude thing towards Anthony Griffin as opposed to capability. Because for him to get rid of Mbai, to get rid of Little and keep Mbai there, but then have Jaden Sullivan on the bench or on the team and only playing for 10 minutes, what was going on there?
I didn't understand that. Sullivan he almost pulled a rabbit out of the hat for him against the Tigers when they had nothing going for him and got him that victory. And then all of a sudden, 20 minutes against the Cowboys and then doesn't come back on.
It wasn't even 20 minutes.
Let's just give him 20 for example, give him benefit of the doubt. And then you got the Finney twins. I mean, you got one of the twins on the wing. And I love those boys, but the brother on the wing's done nothing all year. And then the other brother that came in the centres didn't play anything spectacular, and he's persevered. But
hang on, we're not talking about the team. I'm talking to you about them getting rid of Anthony Griffin.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out his selections because he's lacking speed, and Canterbury absolutely torched him. Do you remember? Was it your winger? What's his name? He's out injured at the moment.
Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was on one leg.
Yeah, and he still almost saved the try.
And not just that, he was outpacing literally the whole back line on one leg. You got a winger in reserve grade called Alex Lobb, who's tall, who's quick, he finishes, and he's killing in the reserves. He's 21. He's got a bit of size on him. I mean, why do the Finney twins get a run? Or for example, Tortomoga? No disrespect to Tortomoga. He's played great when he's played, but we need speed. You know, speed's a weapon. It's irreplaceable. So he doesn't even get a look in.
Can't believe how much Cody Ramsey is affecting your team, not being there.
Yeah, look, you can't just put it. But look, Griffin's gone. They gave him ample time, I thought. Ryan Carr's in there. Lo and behold, Mbai's out of the side.
Interim coach. His name's Ryan Carr.
Ryan Carr. And Lomax is back in the team. Back on the right side.
Not Flanagan?
No, Flanagan's at Manly now.
Oh, is that Manly?
Pay attention, bro. Come on.
Yeah, and I don't understand. Look, look, Griffin had a bit of time to sign players. I don't understand Blake Laurie getting signed to a 3 or 4 year contract. I would have went after someone like Fido Waker from Gold Coast and offered him a bit of overs. He's someone that's going to bend your line. He's got intimidation. He's got a bit of starch on him.
Well, Mbai isn't even in the team this week. That's how far Ryan Carr's taken it.
That's what I pointed out. And Lomax is back in on the right.
And Little starting at hooker.
There you go.
That's a good side.
You know, and
Sullivan's on the bench.
Yeah, look, I'll take him still there. I mean, he'll come on. He can slot in the halves. Little will get a stint.
Yeah.
I find Dragons boring. Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with what you're saying because they have played boring. There's nothing. I mean, Ben Hunt hasn't shined either. I know he's stuck up for his good mate Griffin, and that's admirable. But honestly, stick up for your club, mate. Stop saying, if you who's having threats, if the coach goes, I don't want to start again. The club pays your bills, not the coach. He's had it almost 3 years. The club actually, it's a numbers game. Success is everything.
And look, and if he wants to go, and I'll say the same thing to any Bulldogs player that threatens the club or holds the club a ransom. If you want to go, goodbye.
In other words, almost saying, look, Ben, if you want to go, can we have you? Because we do need that great half.
Yeah. Spot on. Spot on.
That was actually a good way of putting it. Yeah. But look, look, he's just got to pull up, Ben. One finals appearance in 6 seasons. They've played overs. They've made him the captain. They've made him, centre of the club. He's shined for Queensland. He's shined for Australia. That's where he's earned his rep honours. The club really wants you. They want you to be their main man. So,
and he's carried them on their back.
Think of the club. Think of the fans.
He's carried.
I'm not going to deny that, but if he's going to think that the club owes him, the club's got him there for a reason. But if he thinks the club's got to owe him because it's my mate,
club owes no one anything.
But
so who do you think should take over then?
Look, the 3 candidates they are talking about, which I believe is Jason Riles and Ben Hornby and Dean Young, and great players. I mean, I love Ben Hornby, but honestly, on those 3 candidates and based on earning their stripes and the resumes, I'd go Jason Riles.
I wouldn't go first year coach.
I'm just saying based on what's been
what I've heard. I'm with you, but for a Dragons team that has so many issues, I think you need an experienced campaigner to get in there and make some real changes.
I'm not going to lie to you. If Hasler and Flanagan are both in the frame still, I would go Shane Flanagan. I'll explain why, and I love Des, and I think he's great. But Shane Flanagan, do you remember when he came into Cronulla? They had got the spoon. He built them from top to bottom. And
including the peptides.
He got. But okay, let's just put that. But they got it. And the salary caps, But they won a premiership. But he built a good roster. He actually built up a good roster, and ever since then, they still are competitive based on that roster.
I'm with you. And I think Shane Flanagan's a good coach.
And I don't say no to Des, but the only reason why I said Jason Riles is I'm hearing it's between these 3 candidates. And I agree with you. I don't want a first year one, but if that's what we're going with,
I think they should look at that.
I'd take Riles out of the 3.
Yeah, I would take Riles as well.
But Flanagan is my pick for the reasons I've just given.
I don't think you know this guy. What about this guy that you know? I think he coached you when you were young during the young days. What do you think of him?
Who?
Darren Maroon.
Darren Maroon was a good player back in his days. A good coach. Is he motivated to coach reserves or firsts?
I can honestly tell that guy is so hyped to coach, but I don't think he'll even get there.
He was a good player, but he played first grade.
Yeah, he did. He played 60 games. 100 games, I think he said.
He was good enough to play even 20 games.
And he coached Lebanon?
Well, there you go. He's, he still coaches some sort of semi-professional side. So, but look, I'm sure Darren's not motivated. If he wanted to go that way, he would have went it there about 20 years ago. So.
Honestly, I don't think that the Dragons need someone to come in there and have a list of demands that the Dragons must listen. Yeah. I need to be given salary cap time. I need to be given access to these facilities. I need to be given time to build my own team. I should be able to let this person go that. Like, he needs to have a certain set of conditions, whoever the coach is, before he goes in there and gives his time. That's my honest opinion.
100% agree. 100%.
Because if he comes in with the same shackles that Anthony Griffin had, they won't get anywhere.
I think you hit the nail on the head. But unfortunately, I reason, as again, I'll reconfirm, is Jason Riles, is because it seems like they're the three names they've only put forward. It seems like Flano and Des have just gone into the background now.
I don't understand that.
I mean, are they looking for a 10 or 15-year coach? So are the Dragons going to say, look, you got 2 or 3 years to turn around the results? Yeah. Is that what they're going down now? They're on that path? They're doing similar to what Canterbury's done?
But if they have a holistic approach, then I think it's good. But I don't know if the Dragons and the infighting is going to let them have such a wide-ranging...
I don't think it's infighting. I think it's just substandard directors, really.
Well, I mean,
it's like they're West Tigers.
Whatever the case may be, right? Whatever the case may be, are they going to give this coach, say, a 5-year timeline to change it around?
Well, I think they're looking for a 10 or 15-year coach at this stage. That's what the Roosters did. It worked well for them. That's what Penrith have done.
Yeah, but after this change, are you going to give this new coach 10 years...
No. I'm saying they're looking for a coach that's going to be there 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
But I think they're looking to give him, look, we're going to look to have you here with the aim of 10 or 15 years. You're still young. We're about 40 years old.
I think they need an outsider. I don't think they need someone that's been in the Dragon system. They need an outsider. That's what I think. They need to bring someone in with fresh ideas and someone who's going to go in there and literally go scorched earth on this
That's
team.
what Jason Riles is.
But Jason Riles was a Dragons player.
Jason Riles was a Dragons player 15 years ago, about 6 or 7 coaches ago, about 3 administrations ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an outsider. He's never coached at the club.
That's a good point.
No one at the club personally knows him. Like, nobody at the club now was there when he was there, besides probably Doust. That's a hidden message, but yeah.
Oh my God, Doust. I remember that 20 years ago.
Just another thing. Yeah, he's an outsider. I'll tell you why. Because you're hitting the right points. Because he's coached a successful Melbourne side. He knows what success is. He's coached at a successful Roosters side. He knows what success is there. He's been to English rugby as well. I think he's been to Australian rugby. Well, you've seen the whole setup. He's been around, seeing it all. You know, I've got the personal opinion forwards make better coaches than backs.
You've mentioned it before on the podcast.
And I'll just keep reiterating it. Riles is about 6'4", 6'5". So if somebody like Jack Bird wants to stand in his face, I'd like to see him try.
No, I think Jason Riles, out of the 3, I think Dean Young is the worst option. I don't think Dean Young has it in him to be a good
I don't think it's I don't think it's good for him to come to the back to be the coaches on a number of fronts, especially one of those is the debacle that happened with his father last year as well. You know, I don't dislike Craig Young. I just think it's wrong what he did. I know the guy did get found not guilty, and obviously, you know, found in favour of the excuses what he did it for. But to use that was very unprofessional, I found. But look, I just think Dean. I don't see him as a head coach. That's wrong.
All right, enough about the Dragons because now I'm bored and so is Brandon. He's about to fall asleep.
I was about to. Go on. Go.
So even our producer's bored.
I was about to say Dragons by 14 this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I reckon Dragons will lose again.
Yeah, I think
it's Anthony Griffin wasn't the problem. They're just a shit club.
Look, the roster's nothing special. I pointed out to you from the start of the year. I think he tried to make a case for him, and I didn't.
Jaggers.
We're gonna go round 12, Indigenous round. I love Indigenous round.
That is my favourite round. Honestly, of the whole year.
It is such a wonderful
It is my
round.
favourite.
I love all the media that the different clubs have been putting out.
I like the jerseys.
Players. I'm getting to
Are
that.
they up for sale?
Getting to that, yeah. And the teams have released their Indigenous jerseys. The Bulldogs Indigenous jersey is gorgeous. It is.
I'm going to have a look later on tonight.
It's very nice.
Is that pretty?
It's very nice. I think I'm gonna buy one. I have to. It's just such a good
who's any ideas on who designed yours? Is it like a local try from around the Cooks River area?
So I didn't actually look into it, but I know that it looks amazing, and some of the stuff the Rabbitohs are doing with their players, and some other teams that are putting up.
Rabbitohs one's always amazing.
Yeah,
the Dragons ones always seems to have a whale or some because they're from the Yuin Nation, which is the Yuin Nation, which is the South Coast.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that the NRL does an Indigenous round, and I'm very
my favourite round,
I'm very,
far
very
and away.
happy to see the Indigenous.
I never
jerseys.
thought about it. Indigenous round.
Oh, my favourite.
Yeah, I love it.
Who do we have?
So the Dogs are versing the Titans this week, and so there are a couple of changes to the team.
Is Gold Coast got a nice jersey? I want to ask that. I think they're the Bunjalung Nation. Yeah, they're the Anthony Mundine Nation. Yeah, great rugby league player, great boxer, great Indigenous man.
So for the Bulldogs this week, the Fox is back. He replaces Blake Wilson on the wing. So
excited to see him back.
Carl Oluwapu starts this week.
Good news for you guys.
That's good.
With Reynolds on the bench.
Get the victory, boys.
And this week, Harrison Edwards is starting at lock with Raymond Faitala-Mariner on the bench.
Yeah, I think it'll work well. For Raymond Faitala-Mariner will offer the impact that you want.
I hope so.
I think he will.
Because this week, Franklin Pele is suspended because of he played New South Wales Cup. So he actually got suspended from that. So he's actually out.
He got suspended from New South Wales Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So he played Friday against the Warriors. He only played 10 or 15 minutes. And then he went to play New South Wales Cup to get his fitness up.
And destroyed someone.
He played really well. And then he got suspended because of a hit he did or something.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so we've got Reynolds, Ockenbaugh, Sam Hughes, and Raymond Faitala-Mariner on the bench.
I like that bench.
That's a good bench.
It's not a good bench.
Sam Hughes is actually decent.
Sam Hughes is good, but I think, and Jaden Ockenbaugh has been good off the bench, but I think Reynolds and Faitala-Mariner.
Oh, is Reynolds on the bench?
Yeah, Reynolds.
Sorry, I'll take that back.
Yeah,
I didn't hear Reynolds. Sorry.
And you know what annoys me is Ryan Sutton is in reserves. Why isn't Ryan Sutton in the top team? Drop Reynolds and have a fourth forward on there. Our problem has been the forwards. Let's get forwards in. Let's get a roll on. Let's give space for Oluwapu, for Burton and Marnie to wreak havoc. I honestly think Flanagan on the bench would have been better than having Reynolds on the bench.
Because he's been playing hooker, and I was about to say you need a hooker, and Flanagan slots in the halves as well.
Yeah. I think
that's actually a great option.
That's a great option.
I think Flanagan should have been there at 14.
Flanagan,
I think
starting and Cole go on the bench.
Honestly, I don't think Flanagan was as bad as...
I agree on that statement, far and away.
I know people love to hate Flanagan, but honest to God, he cops too much flack for how the rest of the team is performing.
I agree, totally agree.
I love Flanagan, he's a good guy.
You know, on the other side...
Just bring him on the podcast.
On the other side, you've got...
Inshallah.
You've got a good Titans team. You know, Foreign at 6, Tanner Boyd at 7.
Jaden Campbell at fullback.
They've got Chris Randall at 9, who I think is not that great. But the problem is that their forwards are doing well.
And Tino's just...
And Cleese Haas, Payne Haas's younger brother, is doing really well. Yeah, I think...
What's he like as a player? Is he similar build to Payne?
A little bit, but he's not as aggressive. He's not
aggressive as Payne.
How old is he now?
21.
Oh, he's 21.
21, 22.
Is he a front rower?
He's a front rower.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe St George can let Blake Laurie go and get Cleese Haas. Come on.
They're not going to let go of Blake Laurie, bro. It's over. I just move on.
Is Tino still the captain for the team?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a good captain. Deservedly so. Yeah. He's the hardest.
That's a captain.
Yeah.
He's a captain.
He's a mad captain.
He's a leader.
That's a captain. Yeah.
Hayes Perham is still a fullback. I know we mentioned it earlier, but I have to bring this up. I'm disappointed that Hayes Perham is still fullback. I think he's had ample time to prove what he can do, and he's done not much.
You just need that spark in attack. You've pointed that out. So, yeah. I mean, Josh Adokar or Jake Averillo.
Averillo, yeah.
I mean, Josh Adokar would be sensational at fullback.
I mean,
whip it.
He wouldn't be out of... I don't think he'd be out of his...
Whip it. You'd get a lot more points.
I think
Blake Wilson would be good on the wing.
Yeah, Blake Wilson can definitely back up. He
can slot in on that wing.
Even Paul Alamoti, I mentioned last week. I think right. Paul Alamoti's okay.
He's safe.
I think he could go back to reserves and play a few more games there. Like my honest opinion is, when Braden Burns comes back, Paul Alamoti should drop to reserves and just Burns slots straight in there. Even if they keep Perham at fullback, I think Burns and Adokar on the centre wing pairing, I think would be incredible.
Can I ask one of your reserves players? I've heard him mentioned a lot. Jarrell Skelton.
Yeah.
What's his position you see him
wing
playing?
centre.
And why is he not getting around? Because I hear every week he kills it in reserves. So
he does kill it in reserves every week.
So what's the deal there? Why doesn't he?
I don't know why he hasn't been getting a start. He's been injured at
This
certain
is what
points.
annoys me. Some coaches are iffy to give that guy that run, and it seems like Soraldo's just not. Is he outside the top 30?
No, I think he was.
He's top 30.
I think he was in the top 30.
So why does somebody that's offering you mediocre returns gets a run, but this guy who's giving you big returns, killing it in reserves, won't even get a look in? I mean, it reminds you of going back into it, as I pointed out earlier, Alex Lobb for the Dragons in the reserves. Like, I mean, pull that plug out and just
maybe
let
he
the
just
guy
wants to
play.
keep the current players and just try and go
No,
from there.
give him a go. It's already 11 rounds. I'm sure you warrants a chance now.
Yeah.
No, he's not in the top 30.
Oh, he's not?
That's okay. Look, that's in defense of Serraldo now. That's probably why. So you might start seeing him.
Oh, sorry. I take that back. He is in the top 30.
All right,
Yeah, I
just
thought
going
so.
to clothesline. The coach got a clothesline, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he's in the top 30. I don't understand why he's not playing him. We got Jackson Topine.
Isn't he big in
He's a
size?
big ex-rugby union player.
So he's another forward.
He's
The ex-rugby union.
So is he like
They should
another?
get him on.
Can I point out? Is he like another Manu Vadove sized backline?
That's sort of the comparison. Not as damaging as say a Manu Vadove, but that's the comparison that's sort of made sometimes to Jarrell Skelton. I don't know why he's not getting around, but I mean the Fox is back. So was he injured last week? I'm not sure. I don't think he was.
Is he? Can I ask? Is he like John Olamu size?
Nah.
A bit smaller,
know.
eh?
I'm not sure.
You can't bring John.
Remember John Olamu?
Yeah.
You can't bring him.
6'5", 130 kilos, running the 100 meters in 10.9 seconds. Like,
But I mean,
bloody hell.
it's still sort of
It was a giant size forward running quicker than the quickest winner in the game.
it's still disappointing that we don't have someone we're not trying to fix that fullback problem. Like last week in the first half, I think Perham was our worst player. I don't care how many runs that he made. He threw balls into people's stomachs. He was just not there. He was standing in people's way. He wasn't, backing up where he's supposed to. I don't know if or when Serraldo will bite the bullet and drop Hayes Perham. I know that he dropped Carl Flanagan. And at a certain point, I think he's going to need to drop Hayes Perham because I think Hayes Perham has been more of a problem for us at fullback.
I'll put it on the line now. If Canberra don't win this game, he will be dropped.
What if he plays out of his skin and he's not the
Yeah, he
problem?
won't get dropped. Oh, no. If he plays out of his skin and they win, he won't get dropped.
What if he plays out of his skin but we don't win?
He'll still get dropped because, I mean, we saw with other clubs, they somehow miraculously still drop players that are performing. I mean, why is Serraldo any different?
Well, I think that he is one of the problems. I do believe he's one of the problems.
And I'm going to put it on the line and say he will get dropped if they lose, especially if they don't put points on the board. And you'll probably see Flanagan come back in.
Like the other thing, like our second row, right? Like I look at our second row and I think that's a gigantic attacking black hole. Like Raymond Faitala-Mariner and Corey Waddell, while they have their positives, they're not attacking players in any way. They don't have an offload. They don't have a pass. They're never over the advantage line. They're never doing post contact.
You need a hard running second row.
We need a very hard running second rower, and that's why I'm happy Harrison is that lock because Harrison has a passing game. Harrison has.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion actually. Yeah.
No, he's chosen him at lock this week. So
that's all right. Can I say? All right. So you got the what's his name? You're a good player. Preston. He's in the other second row position.
Yeah.
If Taveta moves to the second row, who plays in the front row? I just asking.
Well, we had Thompson, right?
All right. I'm just saying what's available. I know Tomo and Kikau.
They're injured. What we've got Ryan Sutton, right? They can come in and play at prop.
I would probably do that. I'll probably put Sutton at prop and move Taveta into the second row. Because Taveta plays second row lock as well.
And you can move Waddell onto the bench.
I'd rather play Taveta at second row lock because he's a very creative front rower. I mean, creative forward. He's got a pass to him. He's got an offload.
Absolutely.
And he runs holes in footwork. So I probably don't agree with him being at front row.
I don't either. And that's the other thing, right? His effectiveness is being blunted. People saying, TPJ is not doing this, not to be that. Of course he's not because he's playing prop and he's been asked to go out there and be a battering ram. He's not being asked to go out there and offload.
Remember him at Brisbane in that? Wow.
He never played prop at Brisbane. He was
a few times he did.
But he was always prop second row, always second row lock, always. And that's where I think he plays best. So if we had Ryan Sutton and Franklin Pele in the team, you can drop Waddell to the second to the bench. You can have TPJ in the second row. You can have Ryan Sutton starting, Pele on the bench. That's automatically a better team. I know Pele is injured for this week, but when we come back after the bye, what happens then? Why isn't Ryan Sutton being chosen? Like there's just all these little things that make such a big difference to our team that we don't have at the moment. Waddell can't be a starting second rower. I have nothing against the bloke. I want him in the team because I think he's good defensively, but he can't start. He's an attacking black hole. Raymond Faitala-Mariner, same problem.
How's Jaden been playing?
Ockenball's actually been good. He scored a try last week, a really good try. Yeah. He's been running holes, making good tackles. I think he's good. A lot of the supporters don't, but I think he's great.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, my call for the Bulldogs, I think we're going to win. by 8 because I think that.
Oh, that's what 8.
Oh, did you call 8 as well?
Yeah,
Eight? Yeah, you did.
I think the Dogs will win this round. Only because we have to. That's the way I'm looking at it. We have to win.
They're at home. They got to.
If we don't win,
They didn't win
if we don't
last
win,
week,
I say we write off our top 8 chances.
Yeah, even the next 3 years, I agree.
Not that it calm down, brother. Give me your own opinions, not Omar's.
Titans will win.
13 plus. He went 13 plus.
You call them Dogs?
I called Dogs 8. So they got to turn it around. I can't put a stinker in it. Surely the second week in a row. I mean, they weren't even that bad against Canberra, but
it was a stinker against Canberra, and it's going to be a stinker. It was a stinker
last week because they didn't come out of their shell, and they only came out of their shell for 20 minutes, and they started really putting it on the Warriors. So
I want to see Burton get his hand on the ball more. I think Burton seems to only be he only gets his hands on the ball on 5th tackle to put it up. Get your hands on the ball, run it more, pass a little bit more, connect with Oloapu. I want to see what the hype about Oloapu was if he starts. I want to see, does he have a kicking game or is it all just...
How old is he, 18?
19, yeah, 18.
Wow.
He's 19. Yeah.
Well, Isaiah Katoa for the Dolphins.
Imagine him in a year or two.
Yeah, but
wow.
Isaiah Katoa, the Dolphins, how old is he? 18, 19?
But he's got Wayne Bennett. He's got a better playing side around him, and he's been starting now for 3 months, whereas Oloapu...
My point is to Cameron Sorrell, though, let him play his natural game.
Yeah,
Go out there, let him play his natural game.
I agree.
Don't hinder him in any way.
I agree. That Katoa, wow. Bloody hell. Paul Penrith.
So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. It was a cracker show. I was so excited to talk about State of Origin. Yeah.
When's just before we go, when's Canterbury playing the Roosters?
It's still a few weeks away.
Damn. All right. Anyway, continue.
I'm hoping for the Bulldogs make a big comeback. As I say, if we don't win this week, I think we may have given up or blown our chances for the top 8.
Does our other host, Omar, return for the State of Origin special next week?
Omar will be back for the State of Origin special next week. And on that, actually, I should say that next week, podcast is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be having a State of Origin special. Yeah. State of Origin is honestly the best time of the year. It's the best footy that you'll ever watch other than the grand final. I can't wait, man.
I'm just excited to get my KFC buckets out.
You like Wicker Wings or?
Oh, yeah, everything.
Anything
And everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week will be a State of Origin special. I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope you can join us next week for that. Thank you again for joining. And look, leave us comments about anything that you hear or anything that you've heard tonight. Give us your opinions, good, bad. Tell us how you think we are, and we'll take it on the chin and we'll definitely respond. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this week of footy.